Boom! It's happening. Look at that. It's on. Here we are. We're on
Spooktober
video.
podcast,
Spooktober.
2024.
I got my black on.
Tune in next year. I got orange.
Tune in next year. This is going to be a yearly thing.
Maybe.
Okay, that's fair
I
enough.
got a bird on it too. It's pretty spooky.
Oh, if it was a raven.
It could
Right?
be. No, it's an eagle, but it's
Are
black.
eagles scary?
They can be. Eagles are
Give
pretty
me a
scary.
scary eagle. I don't know if a scary eagle.
Okay, but like eagles are big and they're scary and they have big claws.
Big talons, yeah.
Big talons.
I would say on the Muppets, there's an eagle. Do you know who this eagle is? Sam the eagle?
No.
Okay, so there's this Sam the eagle, and he's this big blue Muppet, of course. And his whole gimmick is you have no idea where he is, but then occasionally he opens a closet and he's been there the whole time and says, "At times like this, I'm proud to be an American." And he goes back in, and that's like his whole thing. So maybe Sam the eagle is your scary.
Maybe.
Because I don't know any
You
other
never know.
scary eagles. If you know any scary eagles, put it in the comments. Because we don't know any scary eagles. So anyway, I got your eagle on. I got all black. You have no idea what's underneath here. This is a void. The void. So here's what we did. I'm Dad. This is Isaac. We're two different generations, but we both love movies. And so we decided in October, we were just going to watch spooky movies. We are going to see if we could set aside extra time where normally we're maybe doing one thing or another. Specifically pick a scary movie, sit down, watch the scary movie together, make it Spooktober, talk about it at the end. Here we are. What did you think of Spooktober?
I think it was great. We watched 8 different movies, so together.
That's quite a bit. That's 2
yeah.
a week. To sit down, to get 2 people to sit down and watch 8 movies in a month. It's pretty good.
We watched one in the theater. We watched Smile 2 in the theater on Halloween Day. That was pretty awesome.
Okay, I was thinking, because now like trick-or-treating is kind of done in this house. We had a good run. We had a lot of years of trick-or-treating
Lots
here.
of candy.
I'm thinking this could be a new tradition. That who's ever around and wants to, we hit the spooky movie, whatever's playing on Halloween night.
Yeah.
It's better than anything I got going on, I'll tell you that much. Right on. Okay, so we watched 8 movies. So why don't we run down the 8 movies we watched? Maybe just talk a little bit about each one with some light spoilers. Certainly when you're talking horror movies, you have got to talk about what happens and the ending and the reveal and a twist or anything like that. So we'll try and be light with the spoilers. If anybody is watching, we won't ruin any movies, but certainly there might be a twist or two that you're like, oh, well, now I don't need to watch that movie. So we'll do that. And then we've got some categories that we'll get into, and maybe just some general other things like recommendations and whatever. So do you remember at all the order we watched them in?
No.
I don't either.
I can-
How did we start Spooktober? I think I remember, but I'm not positive.
The first one, I think it was Smile.
You think it was Smile?
I think it was Smile.
Okay, I think it was The Platform.
The platform.
And here's why I think it. You tell me what you think of Smile. I tell you why I think it was Platform. I think it was The Platform because The Platform 2 was releasing, and I had specifically set aside a night where I was going over to my friend Greg's house to watch The Platform 2, and I said, well, you and I should watch The Platform so that I'm got it fresh in my mind before I go watch the next one.
Okay, so I think it was Smile.
Okay.
Because we were gonna watch a scary movie. We were gonna watch a movie this night. We didn't have anything to do, and since it was like October 1st or something like that, I thought let's watch a scary movie. So he told me go think of some horror movies, and I thought, and a lot of people had said Smile is really good. So that's the one I picked for that night.
Okay, so one of us is right. It's one of those 2 movies. So let's talk about those 2 movies first. Let's stick with Smile. Give us the rundown on Smile and your thoughts on the movie.
Smile I thought was really, really good. It was very scary. I really liked the villain, the whole you don't know who's real. They could be the Smile Monster, and the whole
Okay, is that what we're calling? We're calling it the Smile Monster?
yeah. What do you want to call it?
I don't know. The entity, the movie is, the premise of the movie is somebody is possessed, and the possession slowly takes them over until it really takes them over, and they smile, and then they commit some sort of, I think it's always suicide, right?
Almost always.
Almost always suicide. Anyway, a traumatic event in which somebody else witnesses the traumatic event, thus passing on the smile monster?
Sure.
That's passing on the smile monster.
So, yeah, I think the way that Smile was shot and paced was really, really good, especially for a horror movie.
Okay, what does that mean? What do you mean shot and paced?
So, one thing that was actually on my talking points is lots of horror movies have terrible pacing that I've noticed. The story doesn't move at a good speed and the tension doesn't evolve in a way that's natural. Smile did that really, really well. Smile from start to finish had different
Spooky.
Smile monster.
Yeah, now that it's November, instead of a black cat, it's a white cat. We have completely flipped now that it's November. So go ahead. That was an awesome description.
The way it changed from start to finish, where we didn't know what was going on at the start, and by the end we knew everything, and there were small incidents in between that rose to tension. Even though it was pretty normal for a story, it was done perfectly. Sometimes you gotta stick to the basics.
Sure, I agree. The beginning of Smile, so Smile, the first 20 minutes and the last 20 minutes of Smile, I thought were absolutely spectacular. The way that you slowly go through this woman's life, and then, whoa, Misty you don't remember? It's been a long time since we podcasted down here. Let's get out of here. There we go. The way you don't know at the beginning what's going on, and then she goes to get help, right? What are you supposed to do when you're having trauma, when you don't know what's real and what's not real, and you're having hallucinations? What do?
I don't know.
Well, you go get help.
Well, you go
You go to a counselor, you go to a hospital, you go find somebody to support you. It's exactly what she does.
Yeah. The thing in both of the Smile movies is that a lot of their decisions, their hands were tied behind their back with the whole, they're haunted, they don't know it's real, which made a lot more of the tension more real. Because in some movies, we have a category which is dumbest decisions. I struggled finding dumb
Horror
decisions
movie in Smile?
Smile.
Oh, okay.
Because
you have what? You did like dumbest decisions in all of the movies?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I only did 3. You did more homework than I did. I love it.
Did.
Yeah.
So, because in Smile, in both of the movies, the characters didn't know what's real, and the monster could manipulate what they did. So it was hard finding a point where, like, I wouldn't have done anything different. And in a horror movie, when you wouldn't have done anything different, it makes it more real that it, like, could happen to you. Obviously, horror movies could never happen to you. But if it's more authentic, it's more scary.
Yeah. I really liked the theme of Smile. And the theme was when something traumatic happens to you, when you witness something traumatic, when something traumatic happens to you physically or mentally, that trauma stays with you, right? It's in the form of the monster, and clearly it's kind of a heavy-handed metaphor in the movies. It's sort of obvious the way that they try and make that the point of the movie, but it's just so well done, because even when the person recognizes, oh, okay, I'm holding on to this trauma, to this thing that happened to me, I want to try and go get help with it. Sometimes the help works and sometimes the help doesn't, and sometimes they're able to figure things out and talk through it, but it never ever leaves totally, right? It's always kind of hanging there. So I really kind of like that as someone who knows a little bit about trauma and has dealt with some people with major traumas in their life and how it, follows them the whole time. So Smile. Give it a recommendation 1 through 10.
If you're ready to be spooked, which if you're not, why are you listening to this podcast?
Yeah, these are legit spooky movies.
Yeah.
We're not doing families, but no Hubie Halloween, although recommended.
Recommended for sure. Hubie Halloween.
Hubie Halloween's
awesome Halloween movie if you want to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
I would very highly recommend Smile. It doesn't do anything experimental, so you can kind of just put it on as a stereotypical scary movie.
It is sort of formulaic, right? So why did it feel so fresh? Because to me it did. It felt like it was formulaic, but still just like I hadn't seen a movie like that. It's kind of just a slasher movie, kind of just a possession movie, kind of just a trauma dump. Kind of, it's just like hard to put my hand on why it felt so effective.
I guess we'll never know, but
Yeah.
Smile does do that to you. I would definitely recommend the movie.
Okay, so after Smile, then let's go to The Platform. The Platform is a Netflix, is it a Netflix original? I'm not sure if it's a Netflix original, but that's where it was first released. And it's foreign language film, so it's subtitled. Everything is in Spanish. And the conceit of that movie is that people are locked in a prison, and the prison has different levels, and food starts at the top level, loaded up, and by the time it gets to a certain level, everybody has eaten through the food, and now if you're low enough, you don't get any food and you have to starve.
So there's 2 people on each level, and we follow main character every month. Every month,
I think so.
relocate levels. So this main character starts at like level 30, and they get, a fair amount of food, but it's pretty gross because of all the people above them who've already eaten food. And he has to try and figure out how he's going to stay alive through the rest of the movie. And you have to stay with your partner. If your partner's crazy, so what? Some people in the prison go completely crazy because that place is not very hospitable.
No, it's not. It's just a square. It's literally just a prison cell with you and another person, and a platform comes down in the middle once a day.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I think it's just once a day. And you got to load up on any food that may or may not be left. But then there's also the really cool thing of each person knows they're going into the prison before they're going into the prison, are told a little bit about what's going to happen.
Are they told or are they lied to?
Well, a little bit of both, right? That's sort of one of the twists, but they're told that they're going to go there for an extended period of time. Some people think they're going to be shorter. Some people think it's going to be longer, but the key is they get to bring an item with them, right? They get to choose, all right, I'm going into the platform. Here we go.
I didn't even think of that.
I'm going to bring, and then they make different choices. So one guy says, I think I'm going to bring a book, right? Our main character at the beginning says, I think I'm going to bring a book. I'm really going to dive into this book, and I'm going to understand the themes, and I'm going to be able to go through it all and all these different things. And his partner, Trimagasi, right, the one that we find out first, decides to bring
a
knife, a self-sharpening knife. So like right away, the movie just is like, oh, okay. There are different people taking things different ways, trying to survive in different types of strategies in the platform. So what'd you think of the platform?
Very, very good. I know some people don't like the whole subtitled movie thing. Personally, I think it's awesome. People who don't like subtitles,
like, learn to read.
Yeah.
Learn to do 2 things at once. You can read and see the stuff. You really can. So my eyes are only drawn to the words.
So keep that in mind if you're gonna watch the movie. Of course, if you're a Spanish speaker, also that's awesome.
Oh, and I can't recommend this highly enough. English subtitles, original Spanish language. Because if you ever try and watch a movie with the English dub, where their mouths aren't really saying English words, but you're hearing English words on that's the one I can't stand.
Yeah. Very interesting, very thought-provoking. He actually watched The Platform 2, as you said earlier. I don't know anything about Platform 2.
Okay,
probably watch it
I'll mention it a little bit when we get into the rundown toward the end, but
there's still unopened or untied ends. So
what were the untied ends for you in the platform?
Well, we don't know what was really going on at the bottom of the platform.
This is definitely true.
We don't know what the motivation behind the whole let's make an evil prison where we lie to people and starve them.
Yeah, the larger world certainly is never told in the platform. I think it's one of the effective things about the movie is that they don't try to make it like, ooh, it's there's actually 35 platforms.
You know what we didn't write down?
What did we not write?
Was that in October?
No, we didn't do that
No?
one in October. But I could see why Cube
Okay.
would be. You would think in your head, the platform, and is it the Cube or just Cube
Cube.
as another
Because I was
horror
also
movie?
thinking that because it has some hints of the platform. 'Cause
For sure.
They're all locked in a cube. There's some crazy people, and we
Mm-hmm.
don't know what's going on.
If you like the platform, you will like the Cube. If you like the Cube, you will like the platform. They're similar enough in ideas that you'll see the connections, but totally different movies. And Cube is kind of like,
Platform's newer. Platform's more polished.
definitely. Cube's kind of almost feels like somebody just had one room and used some camera tricks to film the entire movie. It's kind of got that. It's not from the 80s, but it sort of feels like a 1980s,
Yeah.
although it's really well done.
Yeah. I highly recommend the platform. Next one.
Okay, I want to do just a couple of things with the platform quick. A couple of things. Number one, if you were going into the platform, what item are you bringing? You're gonna stay there indefined amount of time, because I think if you knew 90 days or you knew 3 years, I think you would make different choices, but you don't know.
So the whole thing of the platform is you need food. So I'm trying to think of objects that you could use to get food. Obviously, with the knife that the guy brought in, you could kill the other people.
Well, yeah, and that's part of the platform is the fear of being eaten by your.
When you have two people on a level, big tensions there.
Of course.
I really don't know because you can't bring an object that just gives you unlimited food. You can only.
I don't think so. And you'd never be unlimited, right?
Yeah.
You could bring giant creatine powder and take one scoop every day or something.
They do
like
get
that,
unlimited
right?
water in the platform, though.
They
so
do. That's what I
interesting.
mean. So
Yeah.
maybe you bring a big thing of powder and you have yourself, I don't know, protein for 3 months of protein, which if you
What if you bring a parachute? Just fly down the
not
whole
a
thing.
terrible idea, actually. So in the movie, though, the guy brings rope,
Yeah.
right? And uses rope. The trick
Why
with the
wouldn't you
rope,
bring-
of course, was that you'd have to get the people in the thing above to actually hold the rope and not take a dump in your face when you get up to the top. By the way, what a moment in that movie.
That was pretty funny.
He thinks he's going to make it to the top.
my
Oh,
chance.
no, poop in the face. Was that on your list of dumbest decisions to poop in the guy's face when you drink glasses up to the thing? Yeah, no, that didn't turn out very well for either one of them. By the way, either one. Yeah, so I think I'm sticking with the protein powder. It's giant of a protein powder, a wheelbarrow full of protein powder.
Yeah.
What's the wheelbarrow going to do for me? I don't know. But
I'm also thinking, why wouldn't you just bring a ladder instead of a rope?
do you have to be able to carry it on you? Was that part? Because all of the things they're all small.
I feel like not.
I do kind of wish they would, as you learn more about more people in the platform, that you would learn that, this person brought and this person brought. Though sometimes you do sort of see it in the background when there's things you see, oh my God, look at that person brought. So that's kind of a fun idea. Okay, so then we watched, after this, a movie called The Innocents. I think that was maybe next.
Innocence, Blair Witch Project, we'll do that next.
Ooh, okay, so we'll do those two. Okay, so The Innocents. Talk about The Innocents. What's The Innocents about?
Innocence, so there's a group of 4 kids. 2 of them moved to this new neighborhood, new country maybe. It's also subtitled, also foreign language.
Mm-hmm. This one's Norwegian, right? It's from Norway.
So they moved to this new area, and the 4 kids, 2 of them start hanging out, and turns out one of them is very, very evil, and all 4 of them have psychic powers.
Okay, yeah, when they come together, they find out that, I can sort of read your thoughts. What do you mean you can read my thoughts? We'll go over there. And then they start doing some experiments that sort of teach them about how they have supernatural powers, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, they can move objects when they're together. Obviously, they're stronger. And two of them are pretty evil, but one of them's really, really, really evil.
Yeah.
Trigger warning: if you watch the movie, if you really like cats,
there's two movies we watched that have cat situations.
Okay, but Smile wasn't that. Smile wasn't that as bad.
It wasn't absolutely bad. No. It wasn't as bad because it wasn't as graphic.
Yeah.
But if we'd have watched the cat story the whole way, like we do in The Innocents, it might have been that bad.
Might have been that bad.
Okay. I think I convinced him. Anyway, at the beginning of this movie, that's how you find out. Yeah, man.
This kid, like...
This is kind of how we find out the kid's evil, right?
Yeah.
The way you treat animals can be with kids. They sort of hopefully grow out of it, right? This sort of morbid curiosity about how things...
The kid doesn't get better.
No, it's just an indication that kind of wants to see the world suffer or gets off on power over.
Yeah.
Right? Gets off on that. So what'd you think of The Innocents?
One of my talking points is...
It's
my first talking point.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like The Innocents.
Didn't like it. No. Didn't like The Innocents. I liked The Innocents. It's not my favorite. It wouldn't rank number 1 out of the 8. But it's unique. It does a really good job at world building.
Sure.
You really feel like you know where you are. It's like an apartment complex, or it's like almost governmental housing.
There's like 3 different apartment towers.
Yeah, with a common space in between, and the woods off to the side, and nice area. So it's really nice. It sort of feels affluent.
It feels like you live there and are like watching the events as like, oh, that happened right over there. But you don't live there. You don't know the place. It's just, you have a very good idea of what everything looks like. Yeah. So we follow these 4 kids, and we find out that, of course, the reason why, not the reason, but one of the reasons why the kids are struggling or having problems, one of the kids has a sister that is like non-communicative, is autistic, or was she in an accident or something? I don't remember. No, I think she's just
born that way.
Autistic.
Yeah, and the powers that bring them together allows her to be able to have a normal life and communicate and really move forward in the things she's doing. But then, of course, the other kid, the evil one, we find out that, of course, he has really rough home life. Been abused, been neglected, and tries to take this out on everyone else. And then as the other kids try and stop this one kid, now we got the big clash. Clash to see whether we're going to be able to stop this person, and whether or not we have to sacrifice the progress that the sister is making in order to stop the person, or whether that's what I think it does a really nice job of that tough decision that I would like, even though something isn't going well for others, it's really helping the person in my family that's close to me. So I'm going to kind of empower this person in order to keep moving my feelings up, sort of as a thing that happens in the world and is a good metaphor for stuff. But you didn't like it. No. What don't you like about The Innocents?
So I kind of talked about this in Smile. It felt real because the characters were more authentic. In The Innocents, a lot of things just didn't seem right. A lot of things didn't seem normal. In my dumb decision rankings, I don't know where it ranked. One sec. Number 2.
He's got rankings.
Number 2, the second dumbest decision that I said is the parents just allow this non-functioning autistic daughter to roam with the evil sister, not the evil one, but not a good.
Yeah, but she does things like puts tacks in her
No, broken glass.
broken
in the
glass.
autistic
Even
daughter's
worse.
shoe.
Just puts it, just stuffs her shoe with broken glass because the autistic daughter doesn't feel pain or
Doesn't
can't communicate the pain.
Yeah.
So she wears the shoes all day. Oh, and her feet are all torn up, and the sister's just
So-
like, haha.
And the parents just let the
Oh,
two
they think that-
sisters
yeah.
roam for the bad part
Way
is that
too
they roam
young.
for like 4 hours.
Or longer.
They're like
All day.
8
See you
and
later.
10, and gone for the whole day.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. When horror movies or any movie relies on kids, especially young kids and young actors, to carry the weight of the story, sometimes it does fall a little flat. Kids just aren't as good at acting. So there are some spots where it's a little wooden or whatever. But I don't know. I thought they did really, really well. I would give a light recommendation to The Innocents.
Sure.
And you would.
Well, I wouldn't. I put it last. I think it's the worst movie that we're gonna talk about here, but it's not bad.
Okay. All right. So Blair Witch.
Blair Witch.
I saw Blair Witch in the movie theater when it came out, so I have a little bit of extra connection to the stuff. You tell me about you watching Blair Witch, an infamous horror movie, an all-time famous horror movie, for the first time.
It's the Blair Witch Project. There's 3 college students who are about to film a documentary on the lore of this Blair Witch who lives in the woods, a little bit away. So they drive out with their 2 cameras and a tent and some supplies. They set up camp and are going to try and talk to people and maybe film the Blair Witch. And the whole movie is shot from these 2 little cameras. So it's sort of low quality, and the choreography is that everything is real. The movie isn't real, but it could not have done a better job at making it feel real because it's recorded like with a pretty crappy camera.
Yeah.
The audio is just 3 friends talking. It's
And not even friends, by the way.
yeah. One
They're
of them,
not. The one is not. They just met the guy. They had never met him before. They found him they advertised, we need a cameraman to come with us. And he's like, yeah, I'll join. And they go and they pick him up.
So while they're out in the woods, scary things start happening, and they can't find their way out of the woods. They're lost. There's nothing they will do will get them out of these woods. They walk in a straight line for like 8 hours and return at the same spot at the end of the day. So they're trapped in the woods. They're running low on food, water, and they're just going crazy because everything's haunted too. Like at night, the Blair Witch will haunt them.
So the key about this, I can't believe one of the first thing you mentioned is the idea of the found footage, that it's, we found this footage and now we're just watching it. And sort of that's what, especially when it first came out, right on the edge of the internet first kind of starting to take off. But most people, I wouldn't say most people didn't really hear anything about the movie before they went. There was a small percentage of people who were kind of, was this really found footage? Is this really what happened? Because you couldn't just go and look. And one of the cool things was they didn't change the names of the actors. So when they would say who the actor was, that was the name of the character in the movie. And it really gave this feeling of, oh my God, what did I just watch?
Yeah, is this real?
Yeah. Did you get any of that feeling? I tried to a little bit sort of elbow my way into making you feel that a little artificially.
Yeah, the thing is I kind of had heard a little bit, very, very minuscule, about the movie beforehand. I knew it wasn't real, but it certainly the way it was shot and the way the dialogue went was as authentic as you could get. Couple things about the movie. Let's dive into some more details. I didn't like the cameraman. What?
You're not. I don't think you're supposed to like any of them.
But no, I didn't like the cameraman as in the concept. They got this random dude, and they didn't think to make sure that he was a good guy at all. he hated them. He threw away their map.
Yeah, but the map wasn't
Okay.
helping. He was
So
right
in the
about
movie,
that.
I'm gonna explain this to you guys.
You don't
They
have
had a
to. They've
map.
seen it.
Okay, not all of them.
Yeah, true.
They had a map.
Yeah.
They're using the map to get out of the woods.
Not though.
He throws the map away.
Yeah, he
now they
does.
have no chance to
It's pretty
escape.
badass, actually. He got so annoyed by her. By the way, she was annoying.
Yeah.
He got so annoyed by her that he's like, I can't listen to anybody anymore about this map. She's been talking about this map, and yes, I know where we are. She didn't. She was never right about a single thing. I know where we're going. I know
Okay,
what
but
the
the
map
whole thing
is.
about that is that they were haunted.
Correct.
It wasn't her fault.
No, it wasn't her fault, but it also wasn't his fault. Throwing the map away, I thought
How is it not his?
It was because the map wasn't going to help him anyway, so it wasn't his fault. But I thought that was a realistic part about the movie, because when you're lost, even for like a half hour, all you do is snipe at each other. You're like, it's your fault. You said this. No, you said that. Even if it's 20 minutes when you're driving on the road and you take one wrong turn, everybody just starts getting short at each other. These people are out there like 4 days and they're frozen and they got no food and they walked for 10 hours. Like, that's the most realistic thing, was how they just went, the roller coaster of emotions of,
Fair enough.
I hate everybody around me because I'm lost. Was it scary? Some people, so this movie is sort of polarizing, is that some people, especially when they just don't buy in, they're skeptical. And they're like, I hated the shaky camera, and there's never really anything scary. And
It was scary in a different way, for sure, which makes it. We did a scary movie ranking where I ranked all the movies in terms of how scary they were. The hardest movie to place on there, just because it didn't use any of the same tactics to cause it to be unsettling. It relied on, this is the most real, this is real footage, and didn't rely on, ooh, spooky Blair Witch. Like, the Blair Witch didn't really do anything.
never saw it, but you never see the Blair Witch.
No.
Never. It never makes an appearance on camera, though. We can maybe talk about the ending in a little bit here. Okay, so Blair Witch. After this, we watched Oddity
Yeah.
and The Babadook. Right?
Oddity first.
Oddity first. Go ahead.
Oddity. So, talking point I had on Oddity is, okay. Should we start with the plot first?
Yeah. Just tell what Oddity's about.
I don't. So the problem with Oddity is I don't really remember. Kind of
okay.
forgettable.
It is a little forgettable. I'm going to agree with that. There's a big house. Two people buy the big house, like a castle. It's got like a courtyard and stuff in it. Two people buy this house and they go and they're renovating it. And it's a haunted house.
Yeah, someone had died in the house before.
Yep.
In a creepy fashion that was all showed on camera, like in the movie. It shows the whole backstory. So we know that the house is haunted, and
Well, but we don't know that. I mean, so the idea is that the woman and the man who buy the house, the guy leaves for work because you got to drive a little ways. The woman is there by herself. He's a psychiatrist in an insane asylum, for lack of a better term, right? He sees all kinds of people that are crazy. One of those people comes to the door while he's gone and she's home alone and says a bunch of weird stuff. You got to get out of there. Somebody came into your house. There's somebody in there. You got to get away, blah, blah, blah. We find out she's brutally murdered. And then the rest of the movie is sort of trying to figure out whether it's a haunted house, whether it was a murder, whether there was weird stuff going on. And the person who was murdered has a sister. And the sister is blind. And the sister seems to have psychic powers where if she touches something, boom, I'm touching the phone here. I can now tell everything about me because it's my phone, because it's passing on my experiences. And she figures out a bunch of stuff. And then, chaos ensues, right? She goes to the house. She finds out, maybe it was nefarious, but also maybe the house is haunted. And it becomes, can you survive the night in the haunted house sort of idea.
yeah. So the main problem I had with Oddity, As well, it wouldn't have been forgettable if they used the whole premise of the blind sister and the sister, like the other sister. They were locked together in the house. They couldn't really leave, and something may have been around them. The sister brings a giant chest, and
Well, it
inside
has it shipped there.
has
Yeah.
it shipped there.
Yeah, the one sister dies. We don't see her again. The two sisters are
yeah.
never in the house together. You're really not remembering because she dies. The one sister dies. The other sister comes into the house like uninvited with the new girlfriend.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's
that's
a
what-
new girlfriend. It's not the
That's
wife.
what I meant.
New girlfriend and
That's who I'm talking
and the
about.
sister. Yes.
New girlfriend and the sister.
Uh-huh.
New girlfriend's living there, and the sister, the blind sister, brings a giant chest, and inside there's a life-size voodoo monster.
Yeah, there is. There is.
And the guy just leaves the girlfriend home alone with the crazy.
Yeah, legitimate though. Not a stupid decision by him because he knows what? Spoiler alert. He knows the house isn't haunted, that he was responsible for the death of his wife. And so he's like, there's nothing really there's nothing really haunted there. No, I kind of was the one who did that. But of course there's more.
And then the blind sister actually does make it haunted, and then
Yeah. Uh-huh. And it is, I don't know. I thought it was pretty scary.
I think we
some
needed
good atmosphere.
Yeah, we needed more visuals, in my opinion. Like if the voodoo monster did more, if
Smile Monster, Voodoo Monster. I like your names. These are good.
okay, so
These are good. Yeah. Uh-huh.
if we had more conflict, more chasing and running. Not every movie needs more chasing and running and slashing.
I kind of like that this one didn't have chasing and running because in the chasing and running part, she's blind. And that part was really clever. How the person outsmarted the blind lady.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Remember that? Okay, without spoilers. They outsmart the blind lady. You think she's the hero of the movie and she's smarter than everybody else. She's not. She's not. She definitely gets got by sort of clever plan. Put the phone here. You're blind. It was pretty slick. So okay, so that was Oddity. What do you think of Babadook?
Babadook. So
Babadook.
there's a mom and a son. And the son is a little special. Probably also autistic, but has a sort of normal life.
Yeah, it's sort of obsessive about a couple of things.
Yeah.
Right?
One night, the mom. So every night, actually, the son wakes up and he has bad dreams. Just normal stuff. So the mom climbs into bed and reads him a story. So one night, he has a bad dream. Mom comes into his room, and she says, "Okay, you can pick out the book we're gonna read tonight." And he points and says, "That one, The Babadook." So she reads the story, and
She'd never seen the book before.
No,
It was like
it's a new book.
sort of
It
appeared
appeared in
out
the
of nowhere.
bookshelf.
Yeah.
the book is not a good book to read to the son.
He has night terrors, and this book is about I'll come get you at night.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
reads
really-
the whole thing.
Well, I don't know. I don't mean to correct you. She reads what's in the book so far. The book does sort of maybe write itself, or pages are added to the book as the movie goes on.
And once they read the book, then the Babadook is trying to get them in the house.
Yeah. Once you say the name, right?
Babadook.
Isn't that kind of what allows the Babadook in or something? I don't really...
Maybe.
The way you don't really remember about Oddity, I don't remember that much about the Babadook.
Babadook.
Yeah, Babadook, Dook, Dook. I
Ba,
kind of
ba,
like
dook,
that.
dook,
Right? Three knocks and a Baba, Dook, 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 or whatever. I kind of like that. That was sort of nursery rhyme, scary, kind of.
Yeah, sure. So the Babadook, she goes crazy because she's not getting any sleep because the kid's always screaming and keeping up at night.
Yeah.
Starts seeing things.
That was my favorite part about the movie was the idea that for most of the movie, you really just think it's this mom. She's a single mom. She's got a special needs child. The child never sleeps, therefore she never sleeps, therefore she struggles at work, therefore her relationships aren't going well. She has no friends. She doesn't have a social life because everything is her son.
Mm-hmm.
And her son is odd and does odd things and likes odd things. And so her sister and her friends and the people at school, the neighbors, they all kind of shun her, even though she's just trying her best. She's really pretty innocent almost the whole way.
Yeah.
Right? So that's kind of this sleep deprivation and laser focused on.
And so something in the Babadook movie is they have a basement. And the basement is full of the dead dad's stuff.
Yeah.
And
more trauma here, right?
Yeah.
More residual trauma.
The kid never knew the father really, but he's also really obsessed with getting downstairs and I'm going to ward off the Babadook and save dad.
Yeah. He knows the Babadook's coming and he's going to save mom and he's going to get rid of the Babadook and I'll protect you. Even though he's not able to protect anybody because he's just a little kid.
And it's the Babadook.
Yeah. It's the Babadook. Not much you can do.
So
Babadook gonna kick your ass.
Yeah. Over time, the Babadook comes in more and more and wreaks havoc on this family. And at the end, I really like the end of Babadook. Not the end. But when the Babadook, the two of them, they go in the mom's bedroom and just the entire room, the fabric of space-time,
Oh, sure. Babadook arrives, yeah.
Everything's
that
going
is
crazy.
Cool. I agree.
That part was...
Yeah, so it's a mom and a kid fighting against the Babadook and, trying to stay together and support each other, even though all kinds of stuff isn't happening around them. And there's a cat in this one.
Is it?
This one's the cat. Smile doesn't have the cat. The cat in the box? Cat in the box is in Babadook, right?
No. Right? No.
Cat in the box is in Babadook?
No.
Or is it in Smile?
No, that's in
God,
Smile.
we watch too many spooky movies.
That's in Smile.
What happens? She takes the kid to the birthday party. And at the birthday party, finally, the little girl, the sister opens the gift, and it's the cat. It's not Smile, it's the Babadook that has the cat in it, for sure. Really? Babadook has the cat in the box. Gifts the dead cat.
Gosh, I forgot.
It's really something.
No, it's not.
What are you talking
guarantee
about?
you, because in Smile...
So both these movies are I'm telling you, Babadook and Smile is this thing with trauma and things around us. It's the same.
Because they go to the birthday party in Smile, they kill the cat, and you thought the Smile monster was passed on to the kid.
Oh, due to the cat.
Due to
the
cat.
Trauma. And by the way, I'm sticking with it.
Nope.
They never come back to that. That kid's traumatized, going to kill people. Promise.
Start a new one.
Yeah, it doesn't happen in Smile 2,
it's
but
not
Smile
in the Babadook.
3. That cat's coming. That trauma cat.
There's no cat in the Babadook.
You're right. What happens in the Babadook, though? They go to the sister for a birthday party. Oh, pushes her out. They get in an argument. Pushes the kid out of the treehouse.
Tries to kill the
Same
kid.
thing.
Sure.
Same thing. Super trauma and everything. Everybody turns against them because of something that happens at the birthday party. It's the same. One kid gets pushed out of the treehouse. One, they open the cat. Yeah, same thing.
You can see why we got confused.
Yeah, you can see why I got confused for sure. Okay, so that's the Babadook. What's next? Sinister. Is that it then? Sinister and then Smile 2. Okay, so go with Sinister.
Sinister.
Just give the quick movie recap.
Got a 4-person family, mom, dad, a son who has some sleeping problems, night terrors.
Yeah.
And a daughter.
Teenager.
Yeah. And just a daughter who likes to draw.
Yes, also a teenager? Yeah, both in middle school, high school.
A little, yeah, I would argue a little younger. It doesn't matter. So they move into this new house because the dad is a detective writer.
Right. He writes true crime stuff.
He writes true crime stories. So he goes to this house.
Move over. You're getting out of
Out
the
of
frame of the
frame.
camera.
I'm
Yeah.
out of frame.
Uh-huh.
So he goes to this house, which was the site of the true crime, where a family of 4 was hung from the tree in their backyard.
in horrific fashion, shown slowly and creepily. They do a great job with that.
So the family moves into this house, and while they're moving in, the dad goes up to the attic. I forget why.
There's a new house.
Sees
New house was going to put some stuff away.
Sees a scorpion in the attic.
Does.
Mind you, this is not a
It's
scorpion.
like New England, maybe?
Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah, it's not a scorpion place.
Not a place of scorpions.
Yeah.
So he, kills the scorpion, and he sees a box full of film and a camera to run the film. He's like, huh. Decides to watch the film. Turns out the film shows the crimes. Murders. And the most recent of the murders was the one where all the people were hung in their backyard. So he finds the film of them being hung, finds the film of a family being drowned, a family being stabbed, a family being burned in the back of a car.
Some really horrific stuff. Like families are getting totally massacred in, call it creative ways?
Sure.
Yeah. And all the films are like cleverly the birthday party or the backyard barbecue. That's the one where they get burned in the car, the backyard barbecue.
Oh.
Pool party. That's the one where they get tied to the chairs and drown. Yeah.
So
it's really
not
like, for the faint of heart. This one.
Scariest. It's my number 1 most scary movie on that ranking.
Yeah.
So at midnight every night, he grabs a thing of bourbon or whatever.
Yeah, he starts drinking right away.
Starts drinking because this is crazy.
Well,
at like midnight,
it's Colin Farrell, by the way, a very famous actor. So this is probably the most famous actor in any of these movies.
At midnight, he rolls the film, starts drinking, and watches people getting brutally murdered.
Yeah. One at a time, though.
Decides to only once every night.
Just once a night. Why watch all the films when you can make
a
week of Spooktober situation?
Right at the end of every film, something in the house happens. The power shuts off. The kid
shadows.
The kid has night terrors.
Dog outside.
What else was in the attic? There was something else that appeared in the attic.
Yeah, something else in the attic. I mean, just one thing after another.
Yeah.
And it of course just keeps escalating until you kind of find out it's
he's going crazy. He knows that the house. He knows that like something's going on, that it's haunted.
And then he finds out they're all connected.
Yeah.
Right? That there was, this family moved to this place, and then this thing happened, and then so that family moved here, and then this thing happened, and that family moved here, and then this thing, it's sort of a...
So he figures out that when you move to a house where someone was murdered in this way, you're next. And of course, they moved into the house where the last murder happened.
Mm-hmm. Intentionally. Yeah. So... and then, of course, they try and get out, and the movie becomes, scary and frantic, sort of at the end, like horror movies do. So, what'd you think of Sinister overall?
Sinister was awesome. It's one of my talking points.
Oh, what you're talking about. I like your I have talking
Sinister.
points.
Sinister was so great. Perfect tension. I really felt scared throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, we did watch this. So sometimes just like the way your own experience of a movie really helps. Like, I think we started this one at like 10:30.
Yeah.
One night we get home from a football
10:38.
game or something, maybe.
Something, and we finished at 10:30 or 12:30.
Yeah. And so the whole house is quiet, and we have all the lights down, and then that was fun.
And it just happened to be the scariest movie out of all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
great
Sinister.
Atmosphere.
Yep. And then so then we finished it off with going to the movie on October 31st, and we saw Smile 2. You give your quick rundown of Smile 2.
So at the start, the whole premise of Smile is someone kills himself in front of someone else. Then they have the Smile monster. She goes to see one of her friends, drug dealer. Drug dealer kills himself in front of her, and now she has the Smile monster.
Oh, I think there's more to it than that. It was him first,
It was him first. He tries to kill
Yeah,
himself in
that
front
like
of...
caper of I'm gonna go to these drug dealers' house, I'm gonna break in there, and I'm gonna pass the smile monster off to him as a plot
an
to
enemy.
torture them and get them to then go to more their drug dealer friends and
Yeah.
kind of a
Both eliminate the drug deal line
yeah.
and kind of torture them
So
at the
that
same
was
time.
kind of I don't know, first 15 minutes I thought were awesome.
Yeah, they end up dying. He still has the monster.
Yeah.
He calls over Sky Riley, pop star, singer, probably like 22. So she's young, still vulnerable as some are when they're very famous, have lots of money. Goes to her drug dealer, and he kills himself right in front of her. Now she has a smile monster. So the whole thing of Smile 2 is that's similar to Smile 1, where the monster is crazy, she doesn't know what's going on, but she also has to deal with being a pop star and having to go on tour and having to uphold her public figure. I really, really liked that part about it. That part of Smile 2 was super awesome. How there's an extra dimension of she's a pop star, she's famous, she needs to do all these things just too late.
All the pressures that she has in her life, all her stresses.
Didn't,
And also, oh, by the way, you're possessed with the smile monster.
yeah, didn't really have that in Smile 1, which it sort of needed. But by Smile 2 had a very similar plot to Smile 1. He doesn't really like that.
I like the movie. Don't get me wrong. I recommend it. It's a Smile 2, a gentle yeah. It's Smile 2, especially because there's going to be a Smile 3.
If Smile 1 had the added pressure and the outside thing, Smile 1 would have been a lot better. Smile 2 didn't have the exact same plot, would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
Just didn't overlap there. Smile 2 was really good on its own. It had a lot of very scary moments, jump scare galore. And
Yeah, jump scares. If you Smile is jump scares. Smile 2. A lot of jump scares that were really effective. They're good because Smile 2, I think, did the best with its sound design. It's like horror movies and the sound. It was one of the great things about The Innocents, I think, was the sound in The Innocents, I think was awesome. And Oddity had really good sound. And probably Babadook.
Babadook.
Yeah, but then it had the music in the back with The Innocents with the little unsettling music I thought was really well done. But Smile 2 used like no music in spots, right? Like it was just silence, just ambient music.
Silence is a lot creepier than music in a lot of times.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so real quick now before we just go through our quick rankings here. You watched Army of Darkness. You say Army of Darkness, not a horror movie.
Not a horror movie.
It's 100% a horror comedy. Army of Darkness is fantastic. If you haven't ever seen Army of Darkness and you want something goofy, but sort of scary to watch, it's kind of got a Cabin in the Woods feel. It's kind of got a comic book movie feel. It's kind of got, I don't know, right? Ash, Bruce Campbell as Ash is an all-time character. He's just fantastic. Gets kind of sent back in time, and the Necronomicon opens up evil, and he has to fight against it.
So it was my second time seeing the movie. I'd already seen it a couple years earlier. Not a horror movie. I'm going to make my case. It's only a comedy.
Yeah,
The scary part about it is that these comical skeletons rise up.
More than just skeletons, okay? I mean, the whole movie is people with evil. He gets dropped down into the pit.
He has
and
evil
fight with his chainsaw arm. He's hacking people up.
It's the whole thing is like a Monty Python, like
a little bit
sort of funny.
So Monty Python would certainly be.
It looks like there's a problem, and then they go into the problem, and it's like, oh, the pit isn't some sinister blood like torture chamber. It's just a pool of water. There's a scene where he goes into this big wooden like farm house. And there's like 10 little copies of himself that are like
Mini ashes.
They're like this big.
Yeah.
They're mini ashes, and they try to mess with him.
Try to
mess
mess
with
with
him.
you. They mess with him.
They mess.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, they torture him. What are you talking about? Anyway, do you recommend Army of Darkness?
Yeah,
it's an all-time
it's
great.
really- it's really,
an
really
all-timer. Army of Darkness. You got to be in the right mood for it. But when you are, watch it with somebody else and do the Mystery Science 3000 thing where you make fun of the movie as you're watching it, and it really rewards like a second and third viewing.
Yeah.
When you will really kind of get into Army of Darkness. I watched Platform 2. Platform 2 is fantastic. If you like Platform 1, 100%, give yourself a little break and then come back. And Platform 2, it answers a few of the questions that you brought up, like in particular, I won't even say it. It answers a few of the questions that get brought up and has a lot of the similar themes, but really kind of just fleshed out a little bit more. And it's really good. It's really good. Platform 2, it's more of the same. So if you didn't really get into Platform, you can maybe skip it. But if you like the Platform, hit Platform 2. You will not be disappointed. It's really worth a watch. Okay, so we've been going quite a while here. Thanks for sticking with us. Now we're going to rank the movies, and we've got just a few awards to give out, and then Spooktober is going to be over. We're going to have to figure out what to do. I don't know. Okay, so
We're not doing a Christmas version. That's not happening.
Nah, we're not.
I'm sorry for any fans wanting that. No.
No, we'll maybe do 80s action December or something, because your Christmas movies, you can watch 2 of them, and that's enough for the Christmas movies. Two Christmas movies.
Usually the same 2 every year.
Jingle All the Way,
Yeah,
right? Christmas Story, and call it. Be like, and then watch a few parts of Christmas Vacation.
Sure.
Right? Later, dudes.
So first ranking we have is we just ranked all the movies best to worst.
Okay.
How should we do this?
Well, I'll just go. My worst one was Smile 2. I thought it was the bottom, and I'll tell you why. Smile 2. First of all, we watched 8 good movies. They're good. We looked through lists. We specifically chose them. These weren't random. We got recommendations. So, Smile 2, I thought was, quote, the worst, and here's why. Spoiler alert coming ahead. First of all, it's Smile 1 with a different character. Second of all, you legitimately can say, once you see the end, 80% of the movie didn't really happen. Only in her head.
Okay, that was
like, did the guy even exist? The guy she met at the bar. Did that guy exist? I say no.
Oh my god.
I say no. I say that guy didn't even exist. It's not even a real thing. Wasn't even a real person.
You're missing that. That's a huge part of Smile 1 too.
It's not a huge part. It's some part.
Yeah, sure it is.
It's some. Anyway, okay. Smile 2. Smile 2. The all of that didn't happen. I know. I understand it's part of the Smile Monster, making you see hallucinations. I get it.
Yeah.
It's frustrating when that's the key part of the movie. When the key part is, ha, that didn't really happen. Here's what's really happening. And then, that didn't really happen either. Here's what's really happening. Oh, it didn't happen. Because here's what's really, that's not going to happen either. Because
I got it.
Also hallucination. Okay, what's last for you?
Last for me was Oddity.
Yeah.
The main problem I had with Oddity is it spent the whole movie building up to a moment which turned out to just be a simple jump scare.
Fair. I like the
very,
atmosphere and a couple of the gimmicks in Oddity more than you did.
It was it was a really scary jump scare, but some of the plot with the trap door, with the chase scene was kind of just irrelevant.
Okay, number 7 for me was The Babadook. Babadook was okay. I think it was just kind of a standard. It didn't do anything better than other movies I've seen. Like, for example, Sinister did the stuff in Babadook was better. Just better. The possession, the Smile does trauma better than Babadook does. So Babadook, number 7 for me.
Number 7, The Innocence for me.
Yeah, the number 6 for me. So Innocence, give or take.
hard to watch in some points, especially at the beginning.
You just
You're
hated
not. No, I really did hate it.
Yeah, it's fair because that particular scene, it just is super uncomfortable. If you want to watch an uncomfortable scene, and once again, sound design, they just linger on this sound, and it's really off-putting, right? It's
Gets you
supposed
into
to
a
make you
bad
feel.
mood.
It does. It does. It makes you just go, yeah, get away from me, and yeah. Anyway, Innocence for me is number 6. What do you got, number 6?
I think after talking about it, I want to swap my 5 and 6. So I'm gonna go 6 Babadook.
6 Babadook. All right, so we kind of have our bottom sort of similar, even though I got Smile 2 in there. Let's go to the top then, and let's go now. What was your number 1?
Number 1.
Number 1.
Sinister. I said I really, really love it.
Sinister.
Followed a really easy to follow storyline that happened to be awesome and explored some new maybe topics.
Yeah. Okay, and so I really like Sinister. It was my number 4. The reason why I ranked it a little lower is because it's going to win an award later. That just really bothered me, and that's why Sinister was just going to. My number 1 was The Platform. Platform was just a movie that I loved, and I just loved the way it makes you talk. I could do another hour on The Platform. On what else would you bring? Who would you want to be stuck with in The Platform?
Very thought-provoking.
Yes, it's super thought-provoking, and the way it looks at society and so The Platform.
2 I had as my second best. I had Smile.
A Smile for me too. Number 2. Number 2, Smile. Can't recommend it enough. It's awesome.
It's so ordinary. I don't know how to describe it better, but we talked a lot right at the start of the podcast.
Yep.
It's got a lot of good reasons.
So then I had Blair Witch as my number 3, Sinister as my number 4. So I think we've hit them all there.
Then I had Platform 3, very, very good.
Yeah.
Smile 2, 4, and then Blair Witch Project 5. I didn't say that.
So I think our recommendations here for anybody watching, right, are The Platform, Smile, and Sinister.
Yeah.
The Platform, Smile, and Sinister are the ones we're taking and giving to you for your next Spooktober. All right. So best, you said scariness rankings. Which ones are the scariest?
I think we both had the most scary one as the same.
Yeah, Sinister's the scariest.
Sinister's the scariest.
Sinister's the scariest. Yeah, it does the most that's disturbing, and the tension is high.
You gotta keep up the whole time with keep your heart pumping.
Sinister's scary.
Yeah.
Smile 2 was my second scariest, even though it's my least favorite of the movies.
Smile 2 is also my second scariest.
The jump scares and some of the visionary stuff, and some of the
did a really good job at the whole movie keeping up. That's the thing that Sinister did a little better, but the whole movie keeping up, having to be scary, is better than just lots of build up, then maybe a jump scare. It's a lot better when you have consistency.
Yep. Okay, next category. What do you got?
Best antagonist.
Best villain, best antagonist. Okay, number 3 for me was Babadook. Especially, eventually you kind of see the Babadook, and the Babadook kind of takes on a different role at the very, very end of the movie. I liked it.
I said the oddity villain because there's a couple different driving forces behind the oddity's antagonist, but the monster, the blind sister, maybe. All of that was really, really well performed.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, number 2 for me then for best villain was Trimagasi. He's the guy with the knife in The Platform, and he's a creep, and he's creepy, and he's got bad intentions, and he's gross, and I just think he's great.
Number 2, I had the Babadook. That was your 3. Babadook, super, I don't know. There's a word for it, not in my head right now.
Yeah. No, Babadook's a great villain. Number 1 for me was the evil kid in The Innocents. Don't remember their name. And here's why, because you don't hate anybody more than you hate that kid.
Yeah.
In all these movies and everything and all of them, the one that you hate the most, it's not even like Satan or the demon or the people who put people in a platform prison just to torture them. It's that kid.
I didn't feel the need to rank him. I put him last because I didn't want to think about that kid.
Yeah, that was fair.
Number one, everything bad that happened in the platform. Not necessarily just Trimagasi, but also who made the platform, why is it there? They're locking people up and lying to them about torturing them. The whole idea of the driving force behind
The
the
platform
platform.
creator is your
Yeah.
villain. Yeah, fair enough. Best villain. Okay, what do you got next?
Best gimmick.
Best gimmick. Number 3 for me, the platform. The idea
three?
of that's number 3. Oh, it's way cool. Out of all the gimmicks in all these movies, number 3.
Number 3
is the
Well,
platform.
I'm gonna give you a spoiler. I had that number 1.
Oh yeah, good.
Pretty obvious to me. Certainly the most thought provoking is the whole platform.
It is. It's unique and it's yeah.
For my number 3, I had the Sinister film. The whole thing where
Okay.
watching the film causes bad things to happen. You see the crimes as you're watching, and at a point in the movie, not necessarily a spoiler, but I want to say it. On his computer screen, it moves and it starts
Yeah, it
to
does.
come at him.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. Number 2 for me for a gimmick is smile. The idea that when you have trauma, that trauma passes on and it never leaves you. And the way that they do that throughout the whole movie is great. It's just great. Just the idea of the smile monster is when you suffer trauma in your life, that trauma affects what you're doing tomorrow and your relationships and everything else.
Number 2, I had the Blair Witch filming. Fantastic. The entire movie was based on that, similar to the platform. Makes the movie very, very well done.
Yeah, and for me, that's number 1. The best gimmick of all these movies is found footage. It isn't that the Blair Witch didn't invent found footage, but it popularized it in Paranormal Activity and VHS and Wreck and all of these other movies that were spawned from Blair Witch because Blair Witch did it so well. So the idea of found footage, and I'm just going to watch what somebody else filmed, that's the best gimmick out of these movies. That was awesome. All right, we got scariest moment. Scariest moment. Number 3 for me, and apparently I didn't even remember what movie it was in because I was so traumatized by it. The scariest moment was when they opened that cat in the box at the birthday party. That was no good. That was no good. I didn't like that at all. The other cat thing was just traumatized. It wasn't scary. It was something else. The cat in the box.
Number 3 and scariest moment was every midnight in Sinister.
Okay.
You know,
Guy starts drinking and it
guy
gets
starts
scary.
drinking and it gets scary.
Well, that happens with a lot of people in the world too. Guy starts drinking, things get scary. This is
Yeah, the kid who had night terrors played a role in like 2 of those nights.
oh
my God,
yeah.
No,
you're
the
right.
one where he was in the bushes?
No, yeah, you don't have to say where he was in the other one. Yeah.
Very, very scary.
He sleepwalks and very good. Number 2 for me was there's a point where they wake up in the new floor in the platform, and Guy is not really waking up. He's tied to his bed and cannot move. And that's what the hell is going to happen throughout the course of the month because this guy's tied down. The first time I watched it, Alexis, my daughter Alexis, had told me, you should watch this movie, The Platform. And so then I convinced some friends of mine to watch it. We were going to all watch it and then talk about it at our trivia night or whatever. And I paused it when this thing happened. And I texted Alexis and I said, what is going on? This thing's going to happen. That thing's going to happen. She says, wait a minute. I don't think I've seen this movie. I think I recommended you the wrong movie. And I said, well, come up and watch and see if you've seen it or not. And she came up. This is like 11 o'clock. This is like one of those situations, right? And so she comes up, gets out of bed, comes upstairs, thinks she's a senior in high school. And I'm like, all right, well, we'll start over. And you tell me when you've seen it or not. And you go. We just stayed up, watched the whole thing together because she hadn't seen it. So that affected me enough that the person who recommended the movie, I texted him, what do you get me into here? So the platform, person tied onto the bed.
Number 2 scariest moment. There was a couple, but all of them tied. Just every moment in Smile 2.
Every moment in Smile 2? Or
Every jump scare,
when
every
there's-
scary interaction.
Yeah.
Couple times, the one in particular, right after the movie said that this was the scariest. He didn't necessarily remember the scary movement. That night and since then, people have been saying that that moment especially was their scariest moment
Oh,
by
I
far.
agree. It's scary.
She has a friend. When the friend is lying in bed, pure silence, and then all of a sudden, she gets blinded by a jump scare.
Yeah, yeah, awesome.
If
Smile
you've seen the
2's got
movie, you
scary
know.
moments for sure. For me, the number one though, it's still number one, is that the ending in the Blair Witch Project. They get to the house in the woods, and they go and they explore the house in the woods, and they go upstairs and they end up down in the basement, and that's like 15 minutes maybe
Less.
less. 7 minutes, whatever it is. That 7 minutes.
It feels like 15 minutes, but I think it's like 5.
Oh, I don't know.
like
Whatever it
3.
is. Nah, it's more than, I don't know. Anyway, exploring the house in the woods, and then the way it ends, and the way the footage cuts out, and that's great horror movie making. This was long build up, great payoff.
My scariest moment was an oddity. The whole movie, I talked about this as a negative point, but it certainly was scary as the whole movie built up to this final interaction. If you've seen the movie, it's the tent scene. Very, very, very scary.
Yes,
That creeped me out of my skin.
Finding what happened in the tent, in the thing. Yeah, yep. Super scary. Yeah, no kidding. All right, and then I think we're into the last one, and this is then now the horror movie staple is people make dumb decisions in horror movies, and so I've got my top 3 dumb decisions made in these movies.
So yours are the dumbest? Got you.
Mine are the dumbest decisions, right, or stupidest decision, or whatever.
Number 3.
Number 3, one person decides in the platform. Remember, you get to bring an item with you into the platform.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
One person decides, I'm gonna bring my dog. I bring my dog. That's my thing. Oh, one day I'll eat. One day the dog will eat. One day that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Especially because this person, the particular person who brings the dog, knows better. Yeah. Some people don't know better in the platform. This particular person knows better. Whoa, wait, go watch the platform and remember, somebody's going to bring a dog in here? Yeah, you wait.
Number 3, I had in Sinister. Main character decides to only watch the haunted films at midnight while drinking. He knows he has a night terror-ridden son who, in the middle of the night, is going to wake up screaming.
Yeah, not smart.
Especially after the first couple nights where super haunted, scary things have been happening to him. He's just like, throwing another one.
Let's try it again. Watched one last night, might as well watch another. That's pretty dumb. You're right. Okay, number 2 for me, dumbest decision is the idea that I want somebody dead. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay someone who I know really well and who I'm going to see every day for a long time to go to my house and to kill somebody in my life. That's what I'm going to do. I think that's going to solve some problems. It's going to make it better. And I'm going to go into a contract with somebody I know and I'm going to have to work with and be with for a long time. And I'm going to pay him to kill somebody that I know.
This is an oddity.
It's an oddity. Well,
he didn't say that.
Yeah, I was sort of trying to avoid the...
it's not
something, but yeah.
Too much of a spoiler.
It's not. No, it's not going to... None of these things that we've said are going to ruin any of these
It's hard to
movies.
figure out oddity, just from the way it's filmed. All right, number 2, I said the parents allowing your non-functioning autistic daughter to roam for hours with her evil, unresponsible 8-year-old sister. I already talked about that. Come on.
Yeah, that's really dumb. It's terrible parenting.
Something I didn't add on the first time I said that. Murders had been happening in the area.
Yeah, there was. Oh man, just make sure you don't go by the bridge.
Don't go
take her out. Go ahead, go play. Just don't go by the bridge. Yeah. Okay. Number 1 for me would be the idea that in Sinister, the dad first of all decides to move everybody into this house. Second of all, decides, I've seen all these movies. You know what I'm going to do? Well, I'm not going to tell anybody about them. Why would I tell anybody about them? Especially like my wife. Why would I say anything? I think I'm going to stick around here in the house. I'm going to try and fight this evil thing by myself and write a book about it.
Something we didn't say about in Sinister he was so brave. He would just walk. When he hears something creepy, something's about to kill him, takes a knife, walks outside,
Yeah,
no protection,
does.
just locked in, straight looking
You
forward.
say brave. This is not brave. I've got that character in my dumbest seats.
Yeah.
He makes the most consistent dumbest decisions throughout any movie.
Sure.
That guy's not smart.
Remember when I talked about this throwing the map away in Blair Witch Project? If you're mad about getting lost,
Maybe don't throw away a map.
At that point, they didn't necessarily know they weren't getting out of the woods.
I feel like they did.
So, well,
at
at that point, there was hope. So there's no way you should throw away your biggest chance of getting out of the woods.
Yeah.
And then complain about, why are we still alone?
It's dumb. Just because you're mad, you don't throw away the map. I don't know. It's awesome. You want to know what our dumbest decision was? Waiting until 2024 to do Spooktober. Spooktober was awesome. If you watched all the way to the end, you're awesome. We had a lot of fun talking about it. We're going to do more of these. I had super fun. This is Isaac. This is Dad. We did Spooktober. All right.
Boo.